Ceremony now.
Yeah, you can't tell.
I got ours going.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
introducing our mayor, Michael Harris, who is in his last year of service to the community as mayor. We appreciate his presence today and those others. Mayor, Michael Harris.
Good morning. What a day. What a day. We are enjoying 5.5 years in the making. It truly is a remarkable facility. I think you will come to that conclusion. I want to thank the Danville Fire Department and the Danville Honor Guard for the raising of the flag. And who in the world could not appreciate Danville's own Lydia Brown? For those of you that don't know, Lydia graduated from the Juilliard School and now resides in New York City. The Juilliard School is the best in the music education business, and they only take the best. And so we are very proud to have her as one of our own. Our agenda today will be involving a number of people. Dr. Andy Bashir is here. We're glad to have him. Artist Guy Tedesco will update us on the sculpture for the Memorial Blossom. Fire Chief Doug Simpson will provide us a brief history on the Danville Fire Department. Our representative in Congress is Brett Guthrie, as he will share his thoughts and memories and performing the ceremony. And of course, State Rep Amanda Bledsoe is with us. Amanda, where are you? There you are. I want everybody to know Amanda. This is the Danville difference. This is what we do in Danville. We like to think that we punch above our weight. And that's our attitude. And this fire station certainly is emblematic of what we can do, should do, and will do going forward. So at this time, it is with a great deal of pleasure that I welcome Governor Andy Bashir to the city of Danville, and I will give him, as our 63rd governor of the state of Kentucky, the podium for his remarks. Governor.
I appreciate it. That is very good for my self-esteem. And given that I did not get into Juilliard, for good reason, how impressive. And I know how proud you all are. And I know how proud you are today. Look around. Is this not a beautiful new fire station? I want to thank the mayor for welcoming me to what is not just one of Kentucky's most beautiful cities, but one of America's most beautiful cities. And I want to thank Fire Chief Doug Simpson on inviting me here today to celebrate with you. And what an incredible day, a good day for not only the city and county, but this entire region. But before I say more, we do need to take a moment to remember our families just to the east that have been through the most deadly, devastating flooding event any of us could have ever imagined. We lost 39 children God, irreplaceable. Their families grieve with them, and I know we will stand by them, help them move forward and carry a little bit of their grief if they will let us. And we have thousands that survived with only the shirt on their back, and we've said that after other natural disasters. It's real. I talked to a grandmother who got pulled from her vehicle as it was being swept away. Her clothes, the only thing that were left. But I know you stand with the people of Eastern Kentucky, just like you stood with the people from Western Kentucky. And I know that. And I know together, we're going to prove to them, not just say to them, that we're here with them today. We'll be here with them tomorrow, next month, next next year, however long it takes, to rebuild every life and every structure. That's what Kentuckians do. And to be here today with heroes from a fire department. You know, in the darkest of times, you see beacons of light, and I think it was Mr. Rogers that said, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. Let me tell you, as unprecedented as that flooding was, the emergency response was also unprecedented. I think we had the best 2, 3, 4-day emergency response this country has ever seen. I want you to think about this. We lost 39 people, and that hurts. And we made over 1,400 rescues of individuals who would not be here otherwise today. That was the Kentucky National Guard, the best National Guard in this country by far. It's the Tennessee National Guard, the West Virginia National Guard. I'll give them 2 and 3, they can help us. It was the Kentucky State Police, and it was so many of our fire, police, emergency management, EMTs, and others that raced into harm's way. And I'm so proud to say that the Danville Fire Department was pivotal to rescue efforts not just in the east, but also in the west. See, when the tornadoes hit western Kentucky, I will tell you, I remember that night. I called out, I'm over in the EOC, talking to people in real time as the tornadoes are going over. Hearing me over 10 people dead. In my dad's hometown, I lost experience where things like this just don't happen. But what I was also there to hear is how many crews had jumped in their vehicles and headed directly into the storm to be there at first light. When the tornadoes hit western Kentucky, your fire department, the Danville Fire Department, offered up their crews to help. And within the first few days of flooding in eastern Kentucky, the department sent fire gear, including boots and hoses, to the State Fire Commission Training Center in Hazard, Perry County, hit really hard. And Danville City Manager Earl Coffey tells me the city has sent utility crews to Hazard and Hyman to help begin recovery and cleanup efforts there. And I want you to know what that means. We are 1 month and 1 day from the worst flooding the state's ever seen. And 95% of all homes already have electricity restored. Cell phone service is fully restored. We even have it at a state park that never had cell phone service before. Water, with the exception of 2 systems that were wiped out, is now back. There's less than 700 hookups that aren't getting water. We have a little too much boil water advisories that are out there, but we are making progress. So I want to thank everybody at the Danville Fire Department, Earl Coffey, and everybody else who is here that stepped up in any way, big or small, to help our people in their time of need. Thank you. So when we think about these challenging days, it's important to remember days like today, good days. After these last 2 years, we deserve good days. Now, the last couple of years can be pretty heavy. It's a pandemic, floods, we had 2 ice storms, we forget about that. Tornadoes, inflation, while temporary, is still hurting our families, even a Russian invasion of Ukraine and war in Europe. And even with that, we're making progress. We refuse not only to be knocked out, but we refuse to let any of this push us backwards. Our goal is to be there for our brothers and sisters when they're knocked down, but when we lift them up, to step forward, to make sure we continue to provide a better, safer life for our kids and our grandkids. And that's the day we're celebrating today. We are here to celebrate the opening of the new Danville Fire Station. This new state-of-the-art facility is going to help the heroes who staff it around the clock be even more efficient in responding to disasters and emergencies in the future. And as a governor, I'll tell you what, as a dad, there is nothing more important to me than the safety of Kentuckians. Your safety and the safety of your kids and mine. The new fire station will support many generations of fire staff and will allow for new technology and expanded service. I can't believe we haven't done this yet. How about we have a big round of applause for all these heroes that work here? The facility also has capacity to house other emergency services within the community, including a potential Boyle County emergency medical services. It'll improve response times in the community. Having a new and improved fire station in Danville opens up so many exciting possibilities, not just for the community, but for the Commonwealth as a whole. There is room for an additional fire group on site, additional equipment and vehicles, as well as an emergency operations center for the community. The convenient Main Street location of this new station will enable more people to be reached so they can get the help they need. And with this investment, you are not just investing in the Danville Fire Department, you're investing in the future of Danville and of the Commonwealth on the whole, and that future looks pretty bright. This is a project that shows how we're not just talking about moving Kentucky forward. You, this community, are making it happen. In the past 2 years, yes, we've been up against a lot, but we have not let that stop us from moving forward. Even in the midst of a pandemic, last year we had the best year for economic development in the history of the Commonwealth, which is going to mean more jobs and opportunities for our families. In the last 9 months, we've become the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America, right here in Kentucky. We're becoming the agriculture technology capital of the United States of America. Talk about living out our faith and values and creating good jobs at the same time. Think about the fishes and the loaves. We got to increase our food supply by 70% just to feed the world's growing population by the year 2050. And you all are seeing it right here as well. It's Chapin International, creating 100 new jobs just announced over the last I think a couple of months. Wilderness Trail Distillery investing in this region as well, but I'm here to tell you so much more is to come. While last year was our best year for economic development in our history, this year is going to be our second best year for economic development in our history. What that means is that we have a chance to be the generations that change everything for those that come after us. Good jobs, good opportunities, getting closer to that collective dream of every parent and grandparent, because we all share one. That our kids will never have to leave the Commonwealth or the area they're from, because we ensure every opportunity is available for them right here. So I think our job is to worry a little bit less about pulling the state right or left, but to push it forward. Of knowing that what is in front of us, once we get through the difficulty of the present, can be a game changer for our kids. The safety that this facility is going to provide is going to give us a chance not just to leapfrog 10 other states' economies, but I think it's our time to be a top 10 state economy. If we need any more convincing, in the last 3 years, we're the home to the largest investment in the history of Ford Motor Company and the largest investment in the history of Amazon. People are picking us. They're picking you. So I am so excited to celebrate the hard work of this community. I'm so excited that if the worst happens, help is going to be there that much quicker. I'm so excited it means that our brave firefighters have the very best equipment so they can be safe doing their job. This new facility symbolizes progress. We have made right here in Danville and across the Commonwealth. Let's enjoy this day and this progress together. If we want another reason to celebrate, and I get a couple hours, I'm going to be able to sign a bill coming out of a special session to provide about $212 million to our eastern Kentucky communities that need it. Thank you all very much.
About 3 years ago, I had an airbrained idea which I'm known to be articulate. And And I said to former city manager Ron Scott, we need a piece of World Trade Center steel out front like most every other fire station that's been built in the last few years. And so after a lot of pestering of former Commissioner Nigro's office, who's Commissioner at 9/11, they finally acquiesced and said, okay, we have no more steel, but for you, we'll find a piece of steel. And we have that piece of steel today. And so I'm pleased to give you some idea through a lengthy selection process. We chose Mr. Guy Tedesco to take that piece of steel and make a meaning out of it so that 9/11 and the heroism of our firefighters is never forgotten. Mr. Tedesco, please, sir.
All right, hello. Earlier this morning, I was covering the resident studio here in Danville. What a pleasure. You know, artists are kind of solitary creatures, often reclusive, and it's always a joy to be able to share work with people. Art is, I was speaking at the University of China once, and everyone asked me, is it lonely to be an artist? And I said, you know, it isn't for a reason. It's most peaceful, most artists don't even think of. And I said that ideas come to me like raindrops in a storm. You can say one word, and I can have 100 ideas off of that to create something. And that's one of the great blessings and curses of what I do and how I do it. And I said, you know, if I had unlimited money and unlimited time, lived a long life, I couldn't create everything that's in my mind. And our work is only of value when it's shared. If I can't share it, it's worthless. So there's this lonely place in my mind that's very beautiful, that I could never create everything that's all in there. But here today, what a joy to have been chosen and an honor to be chosen to do this for a number of reasons. Firstly, I've got more extended family that are firefighters and police officers and friends and all of that. And some of the things that I've always noticed about that is the community around first responders. You know, not only, you have multi-generational families, you know, that are first responders, and sons and daughters follow their parents, you know, and it's really quite a calling, actually. And just as I am called to be an artist, and I think sometimes I wish I was called to do something else, because the starting artist thing is true. Unfortunately, we put too much passion, I think, into our work and always give away the farm, so to speak. You know, we do far more than is called for something when we get so passionate about it. Well, being passionate about things, you know, one of my great passions is working with a wonderful community and helping them to express themselves. I actually have no training in art. My training is in clothing design. I used to design clothes in New York City. And designed women's evening gowns. I always joke that women's evening gowns don't look very good on me. So I had to learn to design for other people. So that has really come into play in my artwork. And it's really helped me. I know a lot of churches and chapels of all kinds of denominations, multi-faith chapels for hospitals, I do public monuments and all of that kind of stuff. I actually have a piece in the Vatican in Rome, and most artists can't say that. It's a real honor and privilege. It's not in a museum, it's back in an office, but you can't see it. I know it's there, and I can brag about it. So, creating this piece was very moving to me. I really wanted to do this. The piece of steel from the World Trade Center. When I worked in Manhattan, I went to the World Trade Center every day, commuting. There were days that actually bombs went off in the World Trade Center while I was there. And when I watched those towers come down, I just imagined being in that subterranean area in the subways, no matter what they're at. It was so personal to me. And And so be able to work with a piece of steel from World Trade Center is very limited and quite an honor. And to create this particular piece, and as we discussed it, we said, this needs to be about not firefighters alone, but the entire first responder community. And so what we did, and I'll tell you about what we came up with here. When you look at this piece, and especially to an artist, and hopefully to those of you who are, every little bit of it has a significance. And it's surprising to me, I usually don't like to title my works because it kind of pigeonholes the piece. So if you hear a title, you walk up and you kind of see something according to the title. You think of that. I rather like for someone to come up to a piece and get what they get out of it. And it's surprising to me sometimes what people actually come up with. But everything over here has meaning. From down the concrete foundation, and a lot of this is not a unveiling or anything like that. This is a sneak peek. Okay, there are parts of this that will continue to evolve and will look like this, with that concrete we put in place and things like that. So anyway, that concrete foundation is a bit of a pyramid. A pyramid represents strength, strong foundation. It's one of the strongest structures that you can build, and a very complicated structure to build. It's a flat top pyramid. But when you think about that as an artist, and some people would just look at it as a piece of concrete and pierce, but it actually means something. The center structure is made of steel. When we think about first responders are hardworking people. They are salt of the earth kind of people. They are not big flashy celebrities, nothing like that. Well, some might be. Anyway, steel, common, simple, strong, noble. That's what that is. Okay. Then these glass panels, in order to represent this community. Okay. We did. I had a clay bed, a clay platform plate. And we have all of the first responders from the entire county, and that includes government officials and partners for first response team. Everybody involved in first response press their thumbprints into that clay. And that's the texture you see in that glass. That's their thumbprints. And you can actually see the little lines of their thumbprints when you go up and look at it. So that, all of that, from that center tower down, represents the community and the order and the training and the discipline. It's all very formal, it's very organized, and all of that. When we hit that top area, all those hands sticking out, that's what holds the piece of World Trade Center steel. If you look at that, that is completely disorganized. Okay? All of those hands, we've got an active duty firefighter, an active duty police officer, a dispatch worker, and two people who have family members who were lost in one was shot in the line of duty, and another burned in a fire. Kid was killed in fire. So those hands are actually what's called a life casting. Many years ago, I started life casting. I was costume Beauty and the Beast 3 times around the country, including all the prosthetic makeup and all of that fun stuff. And I had to make molds of actors' faces. So I learned to do what's called life casting, which is making a mold of an actual person. So when you go up, you see every wrinkle in their skin, every pore, everything. It's incredibly detailed. And that, all of that top area represents emergency, represents that call. There was, I forget which general, and I will paraphrase, a general who said, when you're preparing for war, the most important thing is planning. When the first shot is fired, the most useless thing is all the planning. So firefighters, first responders of all kinds, go through all kinds of training, they're disciplined about everything, drill and rehearse and all that kind of stuff. But then you get into an emergency situation, and by the nature of emergency, then that just becomes part of their character. And they just go responsive, okay? So that represents that chaos and disorder that they would face. So we've got this that lights up. We like glass that lights. We can do all kinds of things with that glass. I don't know if we will maybe link it to the alarm system. I don't know if we'll have it change colors or something when they go out with an alarm, which would notify the community, hey, your firefighters are on harm's way. We need to think about that. We need to keep them in our thoughts. So anyway, that is kind of the story of this piece. I hope that when other people look at it, they'll tell me something that I never thought of, because that's when an artist is really successful, when they inspire thought in you. So anyway, thank you to the city, to the firefighters, to everybody, every cheer. Thank you to everybody for the opportunity to do this. It doesn't matter how many things I get to do, big projects, little projects, things like this are incredibly meaningful. And it's a real pleasure in my life to be able to do it. Thank you very much.
Our next presenter has been a part of the Danville Fire Department since 2004. He's been a lieutenant, a battalion chief, fire marshal, deputy chief, and now chief. He share with us the history of the Danville Fire Department. He's Chief Doug Simpson.
Thank you for a beautiful day. I'm glad to have everybody here. Get over the crowd, I see friends and co-workers, and it's an exciting time for the city of Danville. You don't get me 45 minutes to talk, so I'm trying to keep it down. You see a slideshow, we're going to put some slides of past pictures, current pictures of the station projects. You may see some old faces and some new friends in there. Today is an exciting time in our fire department history to dedicate the Central Fire Station to the citizens of Danville, Kentucky. I want to thank the Danville City Commission for their vision and wisdom to move forward and make this project a reality for our staff and the citizens. The location was chosen for the community response time, but also a central location within our downtown community. We get a lot of people stopping by the fire station as they walk through our center college or just visitors. They always want to stop in and say hello. That's what makes it a community gathering place. That's what makes the fire department special. Also, you see the beautiful stations. You also see the Memorial Plaza coming soon. Mr. Desco talked about the Memorial Sculpture. We're so excited for that. It's going to be fantastic. People can visit Danville. They can sit and reflect in the Memorial Plaza about us, for all the family members. It's going to be a fantastic thing. Also, one of the big things we do is we have a lot of school children come in and do special drinks. When we were in the old Central Station, we had about 600 or 700 kids come every year through the station to learn about safety and fire prevention. That's what being a good community partner is. This station is truly a team project from its inception. I want to thank our project team. You can stand up as I mentioned your name. We appreciate it. City Manager Earl Coffey, who was phenomenal helping out. City Engineer Doug Morgan, Dr. Wright, Deputy Chief Mike Malone, and construction crew, Rob Price, David Hastings, Stephen Conrad. These guys are the phenomenal job. And they built a fantastic structure here for us today. Joseph Architecture Firm, Dave Newman. Dave, you give some Eric and Engel and Heidi Howard, they helped with the POs and get everything together for us, purchasing a lot of equipment, and just keeping us organized. Nick Warren is IT team. Nick did a great job. Appreciate it. Also, retired Chief Kim Flew. He was an incident. And retired Deputy Chief Tim Rosefield. They went to the Fire Station. traveled around, visited a lot of different fire stations. They're both retired now, but they were very instrumental in getting this project started. Danville staff, they worked really hard in the last couple weeks to get this fire station ready for presentation. I really appreciate all their help. They're a really professional staff and a great crew. If I left anybody out, I'm sorry. It's been a long project. It's been 2 years in the making. It's been difficult, but it's also the team project, it's also the team victory. They hit home run for sure. Just a brief history of the Danville Fire Department. The city of Danville was established in 1787, 89 years before the fire department organized. In 1860, Danville experienced a massive fire that destroyed 64 structures and most of downtown Danville. In today's market, it'd be about $9 million in damage. The citizens requested an organized fire department. However, it took another 16 years for that to form in 1876. In October of 1876, the Board of Trustees approved 3 Champion horse-drawn chemical fire engines. These chemical engines held a powder chemical agent in the mixture of the reactive liquid will produce pressure to expel and extinguish the stream. The first station was somewhere in the area of the old Central Fire on 420 West Main Street, where the second station is right now. An additional station is also in Constitution Square, the records indicate. Prior to 1900, the department saw a reorganization that formed a well-working department with many dedicated volunteers and staff. The city built a state-of-the-art, for the time, waterworks system, the hydrant system, the hydrant system. The city also built municipal buildings in the city hall, police and utilities. In 1917, the former fire department unfortunately had its first line of duty death. And this has come to our attention recently. Lieutenant David Stainer, raise your hand, David, in the back here. He's our local historian and researcher for our department. He did a fantastic job. Just like I said, it come to our attention. On March the 20th, 1917, a longtime staff member of the Danville Fire Department, Ben Smith, was a paid horse wagon driver at a salary of $45 a month. Mr. Smith was a dedicated servant to the citizens, well-respected member of the community. His untimely death was caused by being injured while taking care of the horses at the fire station. His death left a massive void in the fire department. In the future, Mr. Ben Smith will be honored with a bronze plaque in our Memorial Plaza. And if anybody knows any family members of Mr. Ben Smith, please contact the fire department. We're having some trouble finding some of his descendants and family members. But a great job, Lieutenant Spanger. Appreciate the history of that. So, by 1920, the era of horse-drawn wagons came to an end for the city. We purchased this 1928 Aaron's Fox bunker, which served the city for 40 years. And that's also one of the pictures you see of the Aaron's Fox. This beautiful apparatus is still residing in the private collection today. Hopefully someday we can bring that Aaron's Fox back home in Danville, Kentucky. The second line of duty death occurred December 24th, 1938, as Mr. Levi Nelson was answering the call for a structure fire at 463 South 3rd Street. When the fire bell rang, Mr. Nelson ran from the newspaper office where he worked. And as Mr. Nelson attempted to board the moving apparatus, he slipped and fell. He was fatally injured. Levi was survived by his wife and 2 children. Long-time member of the fire department, greatly missed. Some of Mr. Nelson's family are with us today. I'd like to recognize Mr. Albert Taylor as his son-in-law. If you raise your hand, Mr. Taylor, appreciate you. Mr. Taylor, he's a very good historian. He knows a lot about the history of Danville and a lot of things. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, I encourage you to do so. I'd also like to recognize our third line of duty death just real quick. Mr. Shane King died February 3rd, 2007 on assignment with the fire department, coming back from training class. In 1967, the city made a big upgrade operation with Central and South End Fire Station construction. South End Fire Station was operational until 2005. And that's the one that used to be by the water tower. If you guys remember on 4th Street, that's the old South End Station. The new one is on the bypass. The 101 Fireside Drive. Central served as operations of the fire department house and time police and telecommunications office until 2010 when they moved to City Hall. The old station has structural damage and deteriorated pretty quickly. That's the reason people had a vision for this new station. Now I won't go into the details of how the old station is. There's a lot of stories around. It's pretty rough shape, but we appreciate the citizens and the commission for allowing us to have this new station. The site area for this new project, this is located at 461 West Main Road right now. The site project is 1.13 acres with 20,900 total building area. You're going to see on your tour, you're going to see on the first floor, administration area, conference rooms, training areas, also a great fitness center, also the basement area for future use. The second floor has 3 10-room bedroom dorms, a day room, a dining area, a relaxation deck, locker rooms, and a training platform. You've never had a training platform, so you should go do a lot of training on that. You also will notice the natural light of the station. There's a lot of windows, especially the first tower stairs there. You'll see the light comes in, and our guys have been cleaning all week on it, so they know how many windows we have. Last year, the city of Danville responded to over 1,300 calls, incidents of service, was staffed up 24 hours a day and on for 48. We have 3 platoons for 365 day-a-year coverage. We cover 17.2 square miles. Our average response time is about 4 minutes, so our staff is very well trained. Finishing, I still think everybody who's attendance today and everyone involved with the planning of this new fire station is truly a team project. Dignitary friends and former firefighters and families, you will always be welcome here in Danville Fire. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Appreciate it. My name is Mr. Kevin Caldwell. Yes.
The House just voted 97-0 for the governor's package for aid to East Kentucky. He needs to get back. He's about to vote, he needs to get back before somebody changes their mind. What would the day be without Brett Gutman? Brett? We'd love to have you up.
I know as a member of Congress, I really just came to celebrate with you guys. But as a member of Congress, people feel like they want you to speak, or they feel like they have to ask you to speak. And I think maybe just in case that's a second, I'm going to be brief with it. But when the governor said it correctly, what a beautiful town. And when I first redistricted to get Danville in Polk County, I knew the 3 seats, Center College, Country Square, and Greenhorns at Works Bakery, and I would say which one of my favorite. But I didn't really know that much about Danville, and I learned even more. People in Danville knew less about me than I did about them. When I first came to town, and I remember being the mayor that was mayor at the time, Mayor Hudson, and Judge McKinney, and it just transitioned right into Mayor Bureau, Judge Hunt. But what I learned about this community is it's the people that live here. Other than the community of which I live in, which is Bowling Green, surrounding areas, I don't know of a county or a community that I have more friends. These aren't just people I've met in the last few years that I know by name. These are true friends. And this is the kind of community that you live in. And it's just so special to be here and just say thank you for moving forward. I will say there's no federal dollars in these programs. Not here to bring a check or anything moving forward. There are federal dollars coming in your community in water and other sewer programs in Danville and Polk County in general. And the reason for that is the federal EPA is making requirements to make it more expensive to give you good water. And so therefore it's a shared expense from your federal tax dollars, your state and local. But this is your local tax dollars. So I'm only here to say thank you so much for moving forward. When you had the tornado here in December, we also had it in Bowling Green. It actually came through my neighborhood. We didn't realize as bad as it was, the house behind me collapsed. And we didn't realize how bad it was until we started hearing the sirens. And I remember saying to my wife, it was awful. It sounded like an awful storm. Those sirens were awful, awful close. And those sirens are scary, but more important, they're comforting. There were people on the fire trucks and on the emergency trucks that lost their homes, but knew their duty and knew their job. And that's why they were out in our community. And I know the governor talked about Dawson Springs, where his father's from, but out in Bowling Green as well as all over the Commonwealth, all over Eastern Kentucky. The great thing about first responders is they respond. Could you imagine having a wife or a husband or family at home and wondering how safe they are traveling home work for somebody else's home? Because that's your obligation and that's your job. And so that's why our first responders deserve facilities like this. They deserve recognition if they're killed in the line of duty. They deserve to be honored and get a piece of art, a piece of work. And it's because of this community. I think it's in the can-do, Danville. I don't know any other better slogan. Because this community is not only beautiful, because of its college, its community, its square, but it's beautiful because of its people. And I will tell you, growth and economic development follows that. When people in my family's in manufacturing business, when you look to grow a community, you look at what investments the community making in itself. And there's not a better investment than what you did today. So I'm not here to bring you a big federal check, because you did it with your efforts, your tax dollars, like I said, your priority, and I'm here to congratulate you and thank you. Appreciate it.
When the call comes out, the Danville Fire Department and the Boyle County Fire Department do the job. There is no division there. When there's an accident and Boyle County EMT are called out, the Danville Fire Department is there. And there's no division there. There's a job to do, they do it. I'm pleased to introduce the next speaker, my friend. We have no division most of the time. Boyle County Judge Executive, Howard Hunt.
I'll be very brief. I want to tell you the partnership between the city and the county in regard to first responders is essential, it's working, and it's professional. I want to salute the Danville City Commission and the vision that the mayor and the city administrator has had to make this beautiful facility. I've always lived by the motto, if you give the tools to those who work with you to be successful, then you are successful. And I'm talking about the city commission and the vision that they have for this fire station. This is a tool that some of your greatest professionals, people who live to serve you, to protect property, and to protect life. These professionals in the Danville City Fire Department, the Boyle County Fire Department, and our EMS, which we will hopefully share this facility for quicker response time. And the EOC that will be downstairs, connected to dispatch. All of this is a positive growth for Boyle County and the city of Danville. And I want to congratulate everybody that is associated with this fire station and the city commission on putting this together. Because this is a gem of showing respect and honoring our professional first responders today and each and every day. Thank you and have a great day.
Vision is one thing, but to actually have the courage to put forth an idea is another thing. I'd like to recognize the gentleman who started all this, and former city manager Ron Scott. Ron. This project was originally estimated to cost $7.6 million. It came in just under $6 million. And a great deal of that credit goes to our former city engineer, now city manager, Earl Coffey. If you are a present commissioner or have ever been a commissioner, please raise your hand. You know what I'm talking about? You come up to you and say, you're going to spend what for what? No one in this room will ever forget September 11, 2001. It was an example of what man can do against man. It was also an example of what man can do for man. After those towers fell, total of 2,977 people met their mayor. Of those, 343 of humanity's best knew what they faced, knew that they had a job to do, knew that they may never, ever see their families again. The Monday following 9/11, Commissioner Nancy Carl read a prayer that she had offered. And I'm going to ask her son, my colleague, Commissioner Kevin Carl, to come join us, please, and read your mom's prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. It's truly an honor to be here, get a chance to do this. I had a lot of neat remarks to say, but the governor stole all word for word. I don't know how I got on the speech, but, so I'll just move on. And I won't say much, but I will say one of the most compelling things to me, thinking back to 9/11, if you've seen any video or anything regarding that, is the people who were in the building running as fast as they could away from the trouble and away from the catastrophe. And the first responders, as fast as they could, going towards it. And that's always stuck in my mind. And I think that's kind of what my mother had in mind when she wrote this. And when she wrote it, she read it to me, and I thought, oh, that's great. And I said, well, how long did it take you to write it? She said, I don't know, I just sat down and it just came out. So it was truly from her heart then, and I think it's truly from everyone's heart now. Greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for another. It's John 15:13. There are those who tear down and those who build up. There are those who hurt and those who help. There are those who spread hate and those who seek to soothe. There are those who worship themselves and those who care for others. The heroes we salute tonight are builders and helpers and soothers and above all, caring human beings who gave their lives in the performance of their duty to their fellow citizens. Let us pay tribute to these brave men and women in ways that are meaningful and lasting. Let each of us resolve to do at least one kindness each day, so that when we are through waving flags, we won't be through reaching out to each other in love and understanding and brotherhood. God bless these fallen heroes, and God bless America. I think that says it well.
At the risk of leaving people out, one person I would like to introduce to the community is our new state rep, Amanda Bledsoe. Amanda? At the conclusion of this program ceremony, our firefighters will be conducting tours of what truly is the most remarkable part of this building, beyond the wall behind me. We'll be doing tours every 15 minutes. Do yourself a favor and go see what will become a model fire station across this nation. Danville, Kentucky will win awards for this fire station. Also, at the conclusion, behind us here is refreshments. I want to give thanks to Southern Ladies Catering, sweets by Cindy's Cupcakes, and cookies with Moxie sugar cookies. With that said, we're going to be led singing of My Old Kentucky Home by Lydia Graham, which afterwards we will have a ribbon cutting with commissioners and firefighters, etc., right outside these doors. And warning to the crowd, we're going to have what they call first tones. It's that sound that says, guys, suit up, you gotta go out. So that may be a little bit loud. With that said, thank you for coming. We hope you're as proud of this as we are. We do like to punch above our weight, and we think this building is a great emblem of that. Happy to have you. That was only new grammar, and it's just going to get much better than that. Thank you all.